Hey, what's going on, guys? So, I wanted to talk a little bit about getting too comfortable and kind of forgetting where you come from or forgetting about past issues. And I'll be talking mostly about anxiety, but you can really apply what I'm about to say to pretty much anything. And I'm going to tell you kind of a little story that happened to me a few weeks ago, which is really what prompted me to make this video and start to think about some of this stuff. So a few weeks ago, maybe three weeks ago or so, I had some kind of stomach issue. I got sick. I still don't know what it was, some kind of bug, or I don't know. I got nauseous. I was throwing up, diarrhea, all that good stuff. But the past few times that I've gotten sick, for some reason I can't fall asleep. I get insomnia, and I spent that first night just lying in bed, tossing and turning, and I literally didn't sleep for a minute, which is fine. That's happened to me many times before. I just feel like shit the next day. I go through the day like a zombie. The next night, I figured that I would just pass right out, but nope. Again, I was up all hours of the night. And I'm not saying just broken sleep. I'm saying not a minute of sleep. So 48 hours plus, no sleep. And at this point, I was getting what I would probably say is the worst anxiety that I've had in my life, at least since I got diagnosed decades ago. I'm prescribed to anti-anxiety meds, and my doctor told me this time I could, temporarily increase the dose, but that had zero effect on me. My heart felt like it was going to beat out of my chest, and every time I felt like, I was finally calming down, my body would just get this weird jolt or zap, and my heart rate would just go back up to the 100s, just literally laying there. And I finally went to the ER, and my hope was that they could just like hook me up to some kind of IV and knock me out. But of course, they don't do that. That was kind of naive. I wasn't thinking clearly after, 2, 3 days with no sleep. But as usual, the ER was useless. They basically told me to take Benadryl. But at this point, it's been, 70 plus hours with no sleep, and my body was just exhausted, but my mind just wouldn't shut off and let me relax and sleep. I tried meditation. I tried all these different sleep apps and sounds and breathing exercises, everything I could think of. And I literally just felt like I was losing my mind, and I didn't have much time left on this planet. After 3 or 4 days, you just really your thinking becomes pretty fucked up. Finally, on the fourth night, I took a little more of my medicine and took some other stuff, some melatonin, and I finally, that combined with just being so exhausted, I finally slept for like 5 hours. And I can't tell you how happy I was when I woke up and I actually felt a little bit of rest. Although I was scared to death that the same thing was just going to keep on happening, because that's just kind of how my brain thinks. I've been a hypochondriac since I was a kid. But I had, the next night I had a couple hours of some anxiety, but I was able to sleep. And I'm still not back down to my base level, but I can't complain, any more of being in that state during that 3 or 4 days. And I was starting to have like suicidal thoughts. So why am I telling you this? Well, one reason is I just kind of wanted to share with you guys. This channel is, it's about just being real and raw, and we talk about mental health and stuff like that. So I just wanted to let you guys know. But also, I think that a lot of times we become really comfortable and kind of forget where we come from. And for me, I was thinking that having panic attacks and bad anxiety was kind of a thing of the past. And I've been doing pretty well for the past 10, 15 years, but all it really took was a couple of sleepless nights, and it came back with a vengeance, worse than I've ever had it. And what that tells me is that I've been kind of complacent and not really working on myself as much as I should be. I've been slacking with counseling, and I've been wasting time listening to whatever garbage content instead of the self-help podcasts and videos that tend to help me. And I know setbacks are part of the journey. It doesn't mean that you're not strong or capable. It just means that you're still learning and growing. And you're always going to be learning and growing. So if you're feeling, stuck or broken, give yourself some grace. Don't beat yourself up for not being able to keep it together all the time. Just do the best that you can, and realize that you will slip up. The most important thing is that you get yourself back up and that you learn from it. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And these instances, they remind us of our vulnerability. And being vulnerable, it doesn't make us weak, it just makes us human. So I started writing in a journal recently in the mornings to just kind of capture my thoughts and get all the mental clutter out of my head. It's a place where I can be honest and check in with myself and figure out what's going on without having any filters or judgment. And I've done it before and I know that it's helped. That's why I decided to start doing that now. And you may have something completely different that helps you with whatever issue you have, but just don't get too comfortable where you don't think you need to do that stuff anymore. And a lot of times we feel like that's how it is, like we've overcome this and this is gone, but it actually reminds me of a saying that's really popular in like AA and NA, for alcoholics and drug addicts. And that is that even though you're sober and you're doing the right thing, you're working the program, your addiction is in the background doing push-ups, getting stronger, waiting for you to slip up. That's a very common saying, or whatever you want to call it, in recovery. And the same goes for mental illness and other things. So I'm lucky that this episode only lasted a few days and I'm back on track, because some people go backwards weeks, months, even years. And if you find yourself in one of those setbacks, just know that it is possible to get back up. You just have to really work at it and give it your all. But anyway, I thought I'd just share that experience with you guys. If you have panic attacks or anxiety, things like that, I'd love to hear what works for you.